Hello, welcome to a new Photoshop tutorial with PSD I'm Andrei, and today I'm going to show you how I turned this image into this. It's a really simple tutorial. I use a free stock image and some light effects and a new sky. And you can use any Photoshop version for this. Well, actually you need at least Photoshop CS6 and it's recommended Photoshop CC. But you can do this in pretty much any Photoshop version with some differences. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. So let's start by opening our base image. I'm gonna go to my stock folder. On the video description you'll find this image. It's from unsplash.com. And it's a free image. I cropped it a bit, so I'm gonna select the crop tool and I'm gonna crop it to about here. The next thing I'm gonna do is create a copy. I'm press Ctrl Command J to create the copy, and I will select the quick selection tool. I will select the sky like this and press the Alt key and click the new layer mask icon. This will create an inverted layer mask and it looks like this. I will press Ctrl Command O to open my stock folder again, and I'm going to use this sky image. I will copy it and paste it below my copy. Here I'm going to name this base. I'll create a new layer underneath, and with Ctrl V I paste a new sky in there and move it to somewhere here. I'm going to make it smaller and place it somewhere over there. Now I will blur this. I will go to filter, blur, and choose Gaussian blur, and I will use 10 pixels of blur and click OK. The next thing I'm going to do is create a color lookup for the sky, because I want to make it look like the background here, like the foreground, sorry. So I'm going to create a color lookup on top of it, and I use the preset Edgy Amber. Let's see, the opacity on normal at 42%. So that way it looks a bit more orange, as you can see. Now I will add a gradient map on top of everything, and I will click here and choose Reset Gradients, click OK, and I'll use the violet orange, click OK, and I change the blend mode of this to screen. And let's see the opacity that I used, 37%. And you can see the change we made already. Original and what we've done so far. If you like it this way, if you don't want to continue, you just want to have this effect, you can stop here. But I wanted to add some light effects and create sort of a fantasy looking image. I'm going to zoom in just a bit more so you can see it better. And next I added some light effects. I will open again my stock folder and I will use this image. I created a pack with this kind of bokeh images I shot myself, and you'll find the link to the pack on the video description and also on my website. And I'm going to paste this on top, and I will press Ctrl Command J with this layer selected, so I can create a group which I will name Lights. Now I'm gonna name this one 1, so I can work better, and change the blend mode to screen. And you can see how it looks like. Now I will press Ctrl or Command T, because I want to select this image and make it bigger. Like that, and now I will blur it. I just need the colors of this, so I'm gonna go to filter, blur, and choose Gaussian blur, and I have to blur it quite a lot here, something like that, and I can make it even bigger. But before I do that, I want to select the base layer and paint with black with an opacity and flow of 100% on top here to delete that line there on the layer mask. Now let's go back here, and I want to make this even bigger, like that, and I will leave it there. If it's too bright, instead of decreasing the opacity, you can use layers with Ctrl Command L. You can open levels or curves and just move the midtones or the blacks and you will make it a bit darker. I will leave it about there. This will also increase a bit the contrast on the image. Next, I will duplicate this with Ctrl J, and I'm gonna move it lower over there, and maybe even lower. And I'm gonna use the hue saturation with Ctrl U. You can press that and you will open the hue saturation panel. And I'm gonna change the colors just to have, you can also use colorize if you want and give it a tone like that, but I think I like the original colors, so I will just switch to something else and probably blur again with Ctrl F just to make it even more faded. And I want something a bit more cyanish looking, like that, and I'll leave it there. You can add more lights if you want, but I'm gonna stop here. I will minimize this group. Let's check the original for a second, just so I can see. Yeah, I actually used another one, another texture. I'm gonna press Ctrl Command O, and I used this one, this blurred reflection of some colored lights. I'm gonna copy it and paste it here on the same group inside the lights group. I will paste it there, sorry, and choose the screen blend mode again. You can see how bright the image now looks like, and I'm gonna place it there and blur it a bit more with a Gaussian blur, but less amount with a smaller radius. And now I have to make it darker because as you can see it's too bright, the image is too bright. So I'm gonna press Ctrl Command L. You can use an adjustment layer if you want, but I think I'm gonna use it destructively this time. Now, what I need is to create a layer mask on the lights group, because you can see it looks nice, but it's too much light here over the couple, at least for my taste. So in order to control that and to get rid of some of the lights here, I will create a layer mask for the whole group. If you cannot do this, it's because you use an older version of Photoshop, and instead of doing that, what you can do is create a layer mask for all of the images here and delete the lights that you want on each image. So with this layer mask, I'm going to select the brush tool. I will use an opacity of 50 and flow maybe 30, and paint with a soft brush like that, just to get rid of this light maybe, and also maybe down here. Over the couple, I will use an opacity of 50 and 30, or 50 and 30, and just paint with black over my couple here to get rid of some of those lights. And now I will paint it back with an even lower opacity, 20 and flow 10 maybe, and I will paint with white like that, and check without the layer mask and with the layer mask. If you don't want to remove the color from the couple, just leave it there. I wanted to get rid of some of that effect. I think it was too much for my taste. Now let's move on, and we're almost done. Let's add some other adjustment layers. I will use a color lookup, and I will use the second drop down here, Cobalt Carmine, and I will now go inside the layers styles. I'm gonna double click here, and this will open the layer styles panel. And here what you can do, right here down where it says blend if, I'm gonna use this one. If this layer is white, I don't want this to be blended, because you can see the effect is too strong. You can of course decrease the opacity, but this way you're gonna do it a bit more selectively. And let's see the values. I have this one. If you just click and move, you'll move the whole slider, but you can split it. If you press and hold the Alt key, you can split this like that. And I have the one on the right to 181, I think, 181, yes, and the one on the left to 88. So just move that to about there, something like that, and click OK. And I left the blend mode to normal, and you can see now it only affects the shadows and some of the midtones. Now let's move on, and oops, actually this has to be on top of everything, so make sure it's on top of the group, of the lights group. There. Okay, now let's move on and now add a color balance, and I'm going to give you the values that I have. I'm going to start with the shadows. So we have -13, 0 and 15. For the midtones we have -39, -4 and -10. And for the highlights, the values that I have are 2, 5 and -15. And uncheck preserve luminosity, because if you check that, it's gonna make the image brighter. If you want that, you can, it depends on what you like. So you can see the before and after. We added a bit more of blue tones on the image. And to finish it up, I'm gonna press Shift Alt Command E. This will merge all layers onto a new layer, and that's nice because I don't want to destroy everything, and I can apply a filter to the whole image. And the filter that I will apply is the camera raw filter. If you cannot use the camera raw as a filter, it's because you have an older version of Photoshop. You need Photoshop CC for this, and otherwise you will not see it here. You can see I have camera raw. If you still want to edit your photo in camera raw, you can, if you have Lightroom, you can save it and open it in Lightroom. It's the same. Or you can save this as a TIFF file. So go to File, Save As, choose TIFF from over here, and uncheck layers. And when you open this image in Photoshop again, it will open it in camera raw. Okay, so let's go to camera raw now, and you should have something like this. Now the edits here, I don't have the values that I made for this, but I remember I decreased the clarity because I want to have a softer, smoother effect. Increase a bit the vibrance, not too much because the image is already saturated. Probably decrease a bit the saturation. Now what else? We can do some split toning if you want. If you want to add some green tones and some blue tones for the shadows, maybe some cold warmer tones for the highlights, but I'm not gonna use actually the split tone. I will just go to the effects and add some post-crop vignetting, decrease the mid-tone, increase feather, and highlights to maximum. And here on the camera calibration, you can change the colors of your image. I want to do something like this, then move this one there, and let's see, probably this one a bit more towards the right, this one as well, and this one towards the left, and just increase the saturation a bit. This will saturate the blues. You can see these are the channels that we have on our image. And let's see what else here. On the HSI, we could probably change the hue of the yellows to be something a bit more orangey. And that's pretty much it. You can use gradients if you want, gradient filters that you have here. I could probably use the inside, yep, and just increase a bit the clarity for this. And I'm gonna click OK, and you'll see the difference before camera raw and after. And I'm gonna show you the original. We want from this to this. This is what I created on the original, but it's essentially the same thing. So that's how I created this simple photo effect in Photoshop using some stock photos and blend modes. So I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments on the video if you like it and you have any suggestions, or if you have any problems or ideas. I'll be glad to listen to you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next tutorial.